back, West Michigan. I got the crew here. These are all members of the, how do I say it? The Council for the Blind, but you say it.
Michigan Council of the Blind
And Visually Impaired. Okay, got it. And everybody's a member here. And starting on my left is Miss Michelle Visscher, right? And now, are you like a member with a title or just a member?
I'm just a member.
Okay. The member with the title is sitting next to you, right?
They gave me a title.
Okay, so you are?
Joe Sibley, president of the Michigan Council of the Blind and
Oh,
Visually
that's
Impaired.
impressive.
I know.
Zoe. It really is. How about you next?
And
Jill?
I'm Mary Sibley, and I'm the assistant secretary for the Michigan Council of the Blind.
Very cool. How come he gets to be president and you only get to be assistant secretary? And you're the girl. You
I
should
came
be.
in after him.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that women rule here, so you should be.
I'm a little outnumbered.
You kind of are. I've been interviewing all girls on this program today, Mr. Joe. And once again, you are watching Building West Michigan, and what you saw previously was me interviewing the three ladies from the Spring Lake Holiday Inn located at 940 West Savage here in Spring Lake. And we talked about an event that they are doing actually to benefit the Council for the Blind, and it is called Dining and Dancing in the Dark, and it seems like it's going to be rather hilarious, doesn't it, guys? Think about it. You got all these poor people who have no concept of what it's like to be visually impaired in any capacity, and we're not only going to blind them practically, we're going to have them eat one of the worst.
And dance.
And dance.
And looking at all of us, it can be done quite successfully.
Yeah, it actually can. It really can. But usually you have some preparation, though. You learn. Usually you're either born that way or you become that way and you learn how to adapt. You don't usually just take some poor fool and make them eat and dance and try to find their way around. But anyway, this is going to be hilarious. Tell me about where the money's going, guys. What money gets raised? And any money, any funds you receive, what do they benefit?
Our portion of the funds will go to the general fund of the Michigan Council of the Blind and Visually Impaired. Like many nonprofits, our budget's been a little strained in the last couple of years. That'll enable us to help with, we have a program of grants where we can assist people with visual impairments to get the equipment they need. We have a program of scholarships where we can assist, make small grants for education benefits. We also have give programs that benefit the youth, visually impaired youth, either through other organizations or through programs that we sponsor. And we've got operating expenses ourselves. We have a convention we put on every year that you get about 80 blind people in a hotel. It's quite a riot. But and also general funds, including travel. Part of our advocating involves traveling to Lansing frequently and other locations around Michigan, and that's all involves expenses too. And we are very conscientious and thrifty with our funds, but any assistance to our general fund is definitely a benefit.
Fantastic. Well, I'd like to take just a moment here. I myself, as everybody here knows, most of you, have congenital macular degeneration. So actually I was born without the centers of my retina, just like the seniors. Only mine is, well, they say is stable. It has been. And I basically was raised with limited sight. And Michelle, you were not. You had vision, right? Until you were...
Well, in my early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've lived with it for a while.
Correct.
And learned how to adapt.
Correct.
And still have very minimal vision, but you have a little.
Correct.
Okay. And Joe, tell us your story a little bit.
I did not become visually impaired until I was about 12 years ago, about 97, 98, from diabetes. I didn't take real good care of my diabetes, which in the long run turned out to be not a real smart thing to do, and started to have trouble when I was driving, seeing the signs. And by the time I went to the doctor, I found out I had diabetic retinopathy and my retinas were detaching. So they through some about 4 surgeries. I still have a little bit of vision. I'm still 2400 in one eye, which isn't a whole lot, but keeps me from walking into walls and stepping on small children, as I say. But you know what? The best thing I ever did was get involved with MCBVI in our local chapter in Grand Rapids, because the people I've come to know and love, including Michelle, including my wife Mary, and I never would have known, and the things I've been involved in, I really call my vision loss a blessing. Not it's inconvenient. I miss being able to pull through Burger King's drive-thru, but it's inconvenient. But I really call it a blessing in the long run in my life because of the things I've been exposed to.
It's part of the reason, viewers, that I'm telling just a little bit of each of our stories is simply because, and by the way, I am also a member. I just forgot, but I just joined, right?
That's right.
Like, and so I am, what did Charis call me, a member at large or something? Not a large member, a member at large. Okay,
Yes.
good. Part of the reason I wanted us to tell a little bit about ourselves was simply so that you guys could kind of get a grasp on this event, Dining and Dancing in the Dark, is kind of to increase awareness for people as like, oh boy, what would you do if you lost your sight? And I take for granted, just because I'm so used to functioning this way, and I've been very lucky, very fortunate in gaining vision as opposed to losing vision, but what would it be like? You know, it's a real wake-up call for people to think, gee, what's mom going through who has macular degeneration, is maybe can't do things anymore? What's it like for dad who can't drive anymore? You know, that kind of stuff. It's a wake-up call, and it's something to really look at and figure out, okay, if this happens to me, if it's hereditary in my family, what would I do? And how would I function? And Mary, tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, my story is a little bit different. I was born totally blind with cataracts. My mom was sick during her first trimester, and when my eyes were forming, I developed a form of cataracts. And
Okay.
I have 5 other brothers and sisters, and they don't have any vision problems. But I, through many operations, 35 to 40 throughout my lifetime, I've developed some sight. I have about as much sight as Joe does. I have 20/400 vision in one eye. In fact, when Joe and I face each other, it's his left eye that he sees well with, and it's my right eye that I see well with. So we can look at each other with our good eyes in the same way. And I just met Joe a couple years ago. We've just been married for about a year and a half. And I met him through our association here, the Michigan Council of the Blind and Visually Impaired. I had moved away from the Grand Rapids area, and I had moved back and came to one of the meetings, and Joe was there, and we had gotten to know each other, and then found out that we had gone and were attending the same church, and so we got together that way. But so I've kind of had sight throughout my life, but then I lost some more sight a few years ago myself. I had taken some Sudafed for a cold and had a reaction to the Sudafed and lost some more vision in my good eye, which made it go from 20/200 down to 20/400. And so I've learned to adapt. Like Joe says, I can manage to get around without stepping on small children and tripping downstairs. But
And for people who don't understand the 20/200, 20/400, normal vision is 20/20. And basically, if you have 20/200 vision, what someone else could see at 200 feet, you have to be in 20 feet to see.
Right.
But yet, 20/200 vision is a very, very useful type of vision. Anybody who's visually impaired would love to have that, because many people who have it can drive, or if not drive, do most things. So when she went from 20/200 to 20/400, she would have felt it. It would have definitely.
Definitely.
And a question that I can't answer, that I'd like you guys to answer for me and for our viewers is, what is the process once you've lost your vision or you're losing vision? How long did it take you to adjust to it, to get through the anger issues and many of the issues that come? Because you guys have, you know, with the Council for the Blind, are dealing with newly blinded, newly visually impaired individuals who are dealing with anger and resentment and pain. And how do you help them? How long did it take you to deal with it, and how do you help others?
patience.
Well, Michelle has dealt with it a lot more than I have, but from what I see, different people, it's totally different with each individual. Some people get very angry. Some people will hold up in their house and not want to do anything. Some people will say, oh, well, I'm visually impaired now, but I still want to go out and participate in life. So it's all over the board. Michelle can probably answer that. She's dealt with it a little more than I have.
Well, in my rehab teaching experience, usually it takes a good year for people to get over the shock. And it is a lot like the Elizabeth Kubler-Ross death and dying type of things. You go through the anger, the disbelief, all those things. And usually when people are provided with the skills that they have, new skills and how to do things, perform different kitchen tasks or household tasks, makeup, that sort of thing, most individuals will return to the personality that they always have had. It does help to be in a group. Now, for example, when I'm asked, how do you have you accepted it? It's like, I don't think you ever totally accept it. I think you acclimate to the situation, but at different times it comes back to hit you when you have a new grandchild that you've never seen and realize this will be the first family member you will never see, or when you go to do different things and everybody's laughing but you can't quite see it, and you've got to elbow your friends to tell you what's happening. But I believe for the most part, people do return to most of the activities they did before, and their personality is back to what it was before. And groups like the Michigan Council for the Blind and Visually Impaired help, because you are people who have lost your vision. You're not blind people, you are human beings, you're people, all different walks of life of different people. Many different, for every person that's in an organization like that, there's probably a different diagnosis for why they lost their vision.
Yeah.
I lost my vision giving birth to one of my children. So all four of us here have had different experiences. But in a group setting, it's comforting, it's wonderful relationships that you build. And blindness in of itself doesn't mean you're all going to care for each other, but you certainly have the same goals in trying to improve activities, social life, education for people who are visually impaired and blind.
Well, and it helps too to see that your life doesn't end just because of your blindness. There are others out there that when we get together in a social situation, it's great to see that just because you can't see, that doesn't mean that you can't go bowling. We have a bowling league. You can't go to the show. We have a way to be able to go to the show and understand what's going on. And we are able to do a lot of social activities. And it helps when you're in a situation with others who are visually impaired to say, hey, your life is not over. You can still get out there and
We play
enjoy
cards.
things. Yeah, definitely. We do a lot of things.
And with Dining and Dancing in the Dark, obviously part of the purpose, obviously it's a fundraiser, but we're also wanting to educate and make people aware. And as Keena and Jody and Stephanie said, they want to raise money for the organization, but they're trying to educate. They want to show people different assistive devices that they may not know. Because what if somebody's coming here and they're not sight impaired in any way, but yet they have a uncle or a parent who is or who's going to be, and they see one of our devices, such as a magnifier or a independent living aid, and they say, "Oh, cool, Mom can really use that," or that's, it's all a form of networking, really.
It is.
And what I'd like to ask you guys is, what would each of you, and I'd like you each to answer this, what would you like to see come out of Dining and Dancing in the Dark? What perception would you like to leave everyone with? What would you like them to learn about that night? What opinion or would you like them to come away with, or understanding? Start with you, Michelle.
Well, maybe not necessarily an understanding. It's hard in one night to grasp an understanding of what people go through, but to at least know there is life after losing your vision. You can go out in a social setting, have a wonderful time, communicate with your friends, and the tools and the techniques for eating out are so helpful that people can order just about anything. And sometimes we've had folks that just order soup because it's a spoon, the bowl in your mouth, a spoon, the bowl, or a sandwich. And there is life to all of that afterwards. Once you learn the proper way of picking up a sharp knife to cut your steak, to cut your chicken, you're ready to go just like everybody else. And we're all just like everybody. We're the neighbor next door, we're your family members, we're your people from church, because in a fraction of an instant your vision can be gone or so reduced. So if that, I would like people to know there is ways of doing things that would make your life rich, fulfilled, and happy.
Exactly. And Joe, what would you like to add to that?
Pretty much echo what.
That was pretty good, by the way, Michelle. There's not much to add to that.
She pretty much covered it. Mary's going to have trouble. But no, I would also like people to realize that it's not an end of your life. Vision loss is not an end of your life. You can have a wonderful time. That you're the same person you were before. You can go out with your friends. You can have a good time. You can eat. You can do quote unquote normal things just like everybody else, and have fun just like everybody else. Plus, this will also give us a chance to get a little exposure to our organization as well. And somebody might have, like you said, have a relative or something that might be a benefit of being a member of our organization. So it's an outreach as well.
Fantastic. Mary?
they both said it very, very eloquently. Yeah, I definitely echo the same thing. It's just that there is life after blindness. You don't have to just stay in your homes and do nothing anymore. Or if you know somebody that is visually impaired, you know, encourage them. Don't push them, but give them the opportunity to realize that there are people out there that are willing to help them and to be with them socially and help them to understand that because you can't see, that does not mean that you are not no longer a person, that you still have a life to live.
Exactly. And for anyone who's interested in maybe contacting the Michigan, okay, say it again.
Michigan Council
I should know this.
of the Blind
And visually of the blind and visually impaired. I got to memorize this. I'm a member now. MCBVI. I'm a
That's
member.
going to be
And
your
we-
test on
That's
the
my test.
22nd.
Can I say it on the
We are
22nd?
the Michigan affiliate of the American Council of the Blind, by the way. We're the Michigan affiliate.
Okay, Michigan affiliate. And
Okay.
just out of curiosity, how many members are there
We are,
in this branch?
in this branch, in Michigan, we have close to 200 members.
Oh, wow. That's
Across
cool.
the state. We have local chapters in some areas. Some are flourishing. Some
How many are in
struggling.
our chapter, guys? Because
Our-
I have never been to a meeting.
About 45,
The Grand
48.
Rapids chapter is the largest chapter. We've had
45?
a lot of growth, and we have about,
Cool.
on paper about 45 members, and we usually have, lately we've been having 30-plus show up at meetings. So.
Fairly cool.
Right.
Hey,
We're
these guys party down. They're pretty
That's
cool.
right.
So, you
That's
know,
right.
You like to do that? You got to join. So, and you don't have to be blind to join. Just ask
No,
our
no, no.
producer
No.
Kim, and he joined too.
Yes.
And you don't have to have a sight
we
problem.
have a lot of sighted individuals that want to be part of our organization,
Right.
and they're more than welcome. Anybody's welcome.
We have quite a few, actually.
Yes.
Who just want to be involved and do things.
And just believe in the
promote.
mission
Yep.
and what
Yep.
they stand for and help. And it can always, it always helps to have people
Absolutely.
who can drive too, right? Guys?
Right.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
Well-
it does. I mean, it does,
friends.
but
Just
we don't
be-
want.
We don't want to.
We don't want you to join just to drive. So.
No.
No, that's, no, our transportation is pretty good over in Grand
Yeah.
Rapids,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
to be a part of, to be an active member of is wonderful.
And if I can share something amusing with you, too.
Mm-hmm.
When I first lost my sight back in '98, I attended what the Michigan Commission for the Blind, the state rehab agency, calls a mini adjustment
Uh-huh.
program. Basically, it's a week for people who just lost their vision.
Uh-huh.
Where they learn a little bit of the basics and they get to network with some other people who've lost their
Mhm.
vision. It's an excellent program. But I did mine mini adjustment back in 1999 right here at this hotel at the Holiday Inn in Spring Lake. So this is kind of
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Hey,
Yeah.
ladies, I hope you're hearing this
Yeah.
out there in the other room because
Yeah.
that's great to know. This,
It
this is the famous Spring Lake Holiday Inn.
That's
the-
right.
the
Where
one-
memories are made.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Definitely.
Well, guys, this is awesome. Once again, for anyone who does want to contact and party down, learn more and have a good time with the council, Michigan chapter.
Mhm.
How do they get in touch?
Well, we have a toll-free phone number,
Mhm.
which is totally escaping me at this point.
It'll be on the screen, viewers.
Beyond the screen, look at the bottom of your screen, it's there
Yes,
right now,
yes.
right? Okay.
But now, and then we're going to get people mad at us because we're not saying the number.
Right.
But forgive us,
And
guys.
you can
Joe-
also go to our website, which we are updating our website right now.
I was going to say Joe had a senior moment, but he's not quite there yet, so I can't
No.
really say that. So,
Not quite.
so we're updating the website.
But the toll-free number is on the website, and there is other information on the website.
Okay.
Which is www.blindmi, like Michigan.
Okay.
blindmi.org.
Okay,
That's our website.
that's fantastic. And once
Or
again,
if you want to get in touch with Joe personally.
oh yes,
Get involved with
The phone number of-
organization.
of our illustrious
my
principal here, president here.
phone
is-
number is on the ACB national website, so I
Okay.
don't mind sharing it here. If you want to contact me directly, that's fine, which is 616-724-1650.
Excellent,
Feel free to call
excellent.
me.
Very cool. And he's also available for DJ services too, right?
Well,
'Cause he does that. I just had.
I used
He
to.
used to be a
I'm-
DJ at Wood Radio. in Grand
Let me rephrase that. He's also available for because he's got the most awesome radio voice, guys. I mean, we're having him do. He doesn't know this yet, but he's doing commercials for me.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that.
Oh.
So anyway, getting back to the topic here. If you're interested in joining them, give them a call. It's a great organization, and for anyone who's going to come out and participate in dancing and dining and dancing in the dark with all of us and have a great time, you won't be on camera if you don't want to be, I promise. But we'll have a ball. We really will. Please get in touch with the Spring Lake Holiday Inn. I believe they said the deadline was the 19th, if I got that right. Phone number is, I'm going to give the general at 616-846-1000. They are again located at 940 West Savage here in Spring Lake. And it's going to be a night of fun, and what a great cause, huh, guys?
Right.
Definitely.
And if you bring anyone that has a visual impairment, we'll certainly spend a little extra time with that individual so they're feeling comfortable when they get here.
Exactly. It's going to be fun for all. So we will see you next time, viewers, on Building West Michigan. Once again, I'm your hostess, Anne Marie, and I'd like to thank all my friends here from the Council for the Blind, Michelle Visscher, Joe Sibley, and Mary Sibley. And guys, let's have a lot of fun on the 22nd.
You bet.
Oh, yeah.
We will.
Bye-bye.